What is up, Dallas Cowboys fans? Good evening. Welcome into the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz. Ham for a late dinner, as it is 10 o'clock here on Monday night. Got some Monday Night Football going on. Some Bears, some Pittsburgh Steelers. Watching some of those rookies in that game made me wonder, hey, how the Cowboys rookies do here over the last game, in a game that's so forgettable, really, for everybody. I wanted to go into some of the stats and see, was it really a terrible game for everybody? Of course, it was a terrible game as a whole. As the Cowboys' defense was flat, the offense was flat, everybody was flat. But I wanted to spend some time on the rookies themselves. And lo and behold, boys and girls, by the way, I'm IndyCar Tim live from Frisco, just a stone's throw from the Cowboys headquarters, the Star. And I thought I would get into some of the rookies here. Of course, not everybody's going to be impactful as a rookie. Starting from the bottom up, we know Cowboys are having some issues on the offensive line. Matt Farniok, the offensive guard, of course, was inactive last week. He was active this week. He did not... He's really playing on the field goal offensive line. I don't know if you consider that a special teams package or how that's described, but not really seeing any game action. Israel Mukuamu, the safety, was inactive again this week. Quinton Bohanna, our interior defensive lineman, who's supposed to bring a little something with him, he saw 24 snaps on the defensive side of the ball. That wasn't even 50%. He did have 2 tackles. He did have some pressure up the middle against the run. So good to see the rookie there. Bohanna was not a problem in Denver, or against Denver here in Arlington. He performed well. He was not an issue, believe it or not. Even though that defensive line is missing Brent Urban right now, I think, for sure. Wide receiver Simi Fehoko was inactive again this week. Our good friend Josh Ball, the much maligned Josh Ball, he hadn't even played yet, and he's already much maligned. He was a much maligned draft pick due to some personal issues. Not sure how everybody feels about that draft pick. Probably will not play this year. He's eligible to be reactivated off the injured reserve, but I don't think that's going to happen this season. The Cowboys have no plans for him. Of course, Jabril Cox is out for the season with that torn ACL. Which brings us to Nahshon Wright, the cornerback. He's quickly becoming one of the more valuable special teams members on the Dallas Cowboys special teams squad. He had 21 special teams snaps, second most on Sunday. And of course, everybody remembers one of those snaps after the Malik Collins blocked punt. Nahshon Wright attempted to field that in front of the line of scrimmage. It bounced off his shoulder pad into the arms of a waiting Denver Bronco, who then advanced the ball, although not to the line to gain for the first down. However, because of some old, bizarre, antiquated NFL rule, because Nahshon Wright touched the ball beyond the line of scrimmage, it's considered a change of possession, even though he didn't touch it. It's like a muff. If you guys were looking for an explanation to that play, it's considered a change of possession. The line to gain is now null and void. It does not exist. And so it did not matter where they advanced the ball as long as the Broncos recovered that, and they did. But still, great play by him. Great game by Nahshon Wright. I can't wait to see him get a little bit more active in the secondary for the Cowboys. Chauncey Golston on the edge. Saw a big decrease in snaps last week against the Vikings with the return of Dorrance Armstrong. Mini tank. And that trend continued a little bit. I'm not sure that Dorrance Armstrong, at this point, deserves all of those snaps. Chauncey Golston's got a little something going. And his snaps continue to decrease, and I'm not sure that's fair to him at this point. It was a pretty quiet day for Chauncey, just 1 tackle on the stat sheet, but he did show some flashes there. Also, Diggy Zua, quickly becoming one of my favorite Dallas Cowboys for a number of reasons. He had some big splash plays early in the game, both in run support and rushing the passer. You probably noticed him. He played 49 snaps for the Cowboys on the interior. He looked dominating and disruptive there on the first 2 possessions. But that didn't last throughout the game. He got steamrolled a couple of times and seemed to fade a little bit in the game. So, again, that defensive line needs Brent Urban back. I don't know that I ever thought I would say that, hear myself say that, or hear anyone else say that. This defensive line needs Brent Urban back pretty quick. We get to, of course, Kelvin Joseph, one of the top 2 picks. Of course, we know last week he made his debut on special teams. He played well. We know that, his impact will come later in the year, I think, for Kelvin Joseph. He scooped up a muffed Cedric Wilson punt to recover it, keep possession with the Cowboys. That would have been a better deal had the Cowboys been able to play any offense and then score off of that, but they didn't. Kelvin Joseph is, for as much time as he's missed and where he's starting in the season, I think he's doing quite well. Then we get to the big boy. And I'll tell you right now, I think last week Micah Parsons had his best game as a Cowboy against the Vikings. And I think yesterday he may have bested that game against the Broncos. Micah Parsons is not the reason the defense was flat. He is not the reason the Broncos put up 30 points. We know that Dan Quinn used him a little bit as a pass rusher more this week than he did against the Vikings, which made his snap count kind of drop. Just 86% of the defensive snaps on Sunday. But what you did with those snaps were pretty incredible. 10 tackles on the day, second on the team. He led the team in solo tackles. He also had 2.5 sacks on the day. First game that he's had multiple sacks, and in the process, we know that Parsons hit a milestone for the Cowboys. He's in some pretty good company. As Parsons, with 3.5 sacks on the season, he joins Victor Butler. He joins DeMarcus Ware. And Anthony Spencer is the only Dallas Cowboys linebackers to have at least 3 sacks in their rookie season. So the star of the game, if there was one for the Cowboys, Micah Parsons. Second star probably goes to Kelvin Joseph. Maybe throw Oso Odighizuwa a bone in there too. All 3 rookies, and all 3 had pretty good games for the most part on an otherwise miserable afternoon at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. So I thought I would just update you guys a little bit on what's going on the rookie side of things. That's something we kind of forget about. Sometimes these names get forgotten because they're not playing, they're inactive, or they're playing only special teams, and you don't notice them because everybody's, let's face it, kickoffs, we're getting up to go get a beer during the game. We don't care about the kickoffs until we hear some yelping and screaming, and then we'll run in there to see what happened, who's running it back and doing what, who fumbled the ball, who muffed the kick, but whatever. So there's some updates on you for some of the Dallas Cowboys rookies. Let me know what you think here in the comments right below us. I don't have my other funny graphics here. Reach out to me, IndyCar Tim on Twitter. We'd love to talk to you there. Make sure you subscribe to the Fish Report. You like every video that you watch. You're watching it. It takes nothing to click on the like button. You know you want to do that anyway. And then, of course, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Click that bell so you get all the great notifications when we got cool stuff like this dropping on the channel. Make sure you check out some of those other playlists. We got some college going for you, too. We got some fantasy football going for you. A lot of Dallas Mavericks, the only official Dallas Mavericks podcast with the Step Back Mavs podcast with Matt and Dalton over there. Mark Cuban endorses it, and he makes appearances on the show. You guys go check that out over there. We appreciate you here on the Fish Channel. I'm IndyCar Tim. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll have some ham for lunch. Until then, we'll see you.